Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So one of the decks that we're profiling this week is Shoutmon for BT5. This thing is a beast of a deck, like absolutely. Probably my number 2 deck that I want to play this format is right here. Let's get into this. Also, the memory marker for this month is Tamers. Yes, throwing it back here to OG 1.0 here with Tamers. This is just the prototype that we've got going on here with the leaves, and he's just absolutely adorable. We wanted to get a green on the channel for a good bit now, but one, Yokomon is extremely difficult, and two, you can just buy like plastic versions of Yokomon, so it's not exactly difficult. So we wanted something a little different, and Tamers is just super cute little onion guy. So that's what we went with this month. Hopefully you guys like that. If you do want to get your hands on one, you're playing a green deck, you want something different and not just a Yokomon like everybody else, definitely check the Patreon link in the description below for the month of August. This is going to be our Patreon reward. So like most red decks, Shoutmon is another just hit security for as many security checks as possible. If we can do a full clear and then swing with Omnimon for game, that is our goal. That is our ultimate goal in this deck. So that's what we're going to try to do here. And a lot of the cards is just to get up into our Shoutmons as fast as possible to just immediately swing for a bunch of damage. So this deck is not designed to be grindy at all. We want it to be as consistent as possible. So I just went with the 4 Koromons, just 4 eggs, just go flat out with the 4. If you want to just build all the way up in raising area, to help ensure that whatever it is that you're going to swing with that turn survives, Koromon is going to be your guaranteed that 1k buff DP. You don't have, things like jamming, the Palmon that gives jamming the Digiburst away, right? So we have to ensure that our DP is just incredibly high with our Shoutmon when it swings. So Koromon is just the most consistent way to get there. You could look at, if you really wanted a 5th egg, a Digimon, because, with all the Digibursting and things like that, people tend to fill up their trash a little bit faster these days. So that would be a pretty good one as their 5th egg, but I don't think the deck really needs it. Next, we got the Agumon. Agumon, just one of the best red rookies in the game. Honestly, one of the best rookies kind of in general. Just being when you can give that nice 1000 DP buff is always good. But particularly, like I said, in red, we don't have a whole lot of extra tricks to help get us there. So Agumon just giving that 1000 DP buff to our Megas so they can just swing into security. Also, I went with 2 Guilmon, just like the Agumon, gives that 1000 DP buff. The only thing is, he's not immediately live. Like turn 1, you don't want to go Guilmon and rely on Guilmon to get that 1000 buff turn 1. So I just limited him to 2 copies just to kind of like round off our rookie count a little bit here. I am going with the 12 count rookies, a little bit less than you would normally see, but it'll make sense why I'm doing that in just a minute. Shoutmon is our new rookie for the deck here. Basically, just kind of like Red Ragna sort of strategy. You're going to hard play this guy for 3 cost, reveal the top 5 from your deck, add 1 Digimon with Shoutmon in its name, and 1 Digimon card with Blitz among them to your hand. What's nice about this is the Shoutmon is kind of like how Red Ragna, I believe is Zubamon, could add any of them, right, to the hand, including itself, and so it could recycle and it worked. But what's different is on the second thing that you can add, because you can add 2 Digimon here, it can be anything with Blitz. Anything. So not just one of your big heavy hitters, like your Shoutmon DX or anything like that. It can be anything with Blitz. So that really opens the door up for whatever you want, whether it be 2 Shoutmons or whatever, but also an Omnimon. So being able to grab the Omnimon if you need it off of this is really powerful. Also, while this Digimon has Blitz, it gains 2k DP. So I mean that's just already better than Agumon, because all of our big heavy hitters are going to have Blitz anyway, so that is great. He is a phenomenal rookie. He's definitely the the bread and butter rookie of this whole deck. So if you have to hard play him and you miss out on the Koromon underneath it, it's okay. It's okay, because he's going to make up for it by being Agumon and Koromon together all by himself. And then also, just playing 2 Beomon here to round out. I went with just the vanillas. That 2 play cost, you just can't argue it. We don't need digibursting in this, so we're not worried about materials and having like this nice perfect stack. Nothing like that. We're just trying to get up into our megas as fast as possible. Beomon is a great way to do that, just the vanilla. Instead of going maxing out on the Guilmon, you could even drop the Guilmon completely and just max out on the Beomon. That puts us at 12 rookies. Why did I put us at 12 rookies? Well, it should be kind of obvious here. I put in Fugamon. Now, a lot of people have been arguing, well, with yellow running around doing crazy DP reduction, this little 3000 DP is just going to get melted. But the thing is, think of it in this aspect. You're going to Digivolve right on top of him immediately. He is a play cost of 3, so you can literally play him and immediately go into your 5 on top of him. That's the benefit. If you're just doing regular Digivolving for 1, then there's nothing to worry about because you're going to Digivolve that and then immediately Digivolve something else to pass turn. If you want to Digivolve him in raising area, to pass the turn, that opening turn play where you just want to Digivolve into a rookie and then Digivolve into a level 4 to pass the turn, he still serves that 1 cost evolution purpose for that. He's a multitasker, and that's what I really like. Yes, he does have low DP, but the idea is that he's so incredibly cheap that you're going to, before you even pass turn, Digivolve right on top of him, and it's not even going to matter that his DP is so low. Speaking of 1-cost evolutions, Red finally got its blocker. Yes, our 1-cost evolution blocker. Absolutely excited for this thing. Some people have been arguing that maybe the old blockers are the way to go this format because it's at 6,000 DP. 5,000 I think is still solid. It's worth the trade-off. If it was 4,000, I would say no, because with Yellow has the ability to play Nightmon, which is minus 4,000, or they can still go with the old War Growlmon, which is another minus 4,000. Either way, your blocker is still going to be alive with the 5,000 DP. They've got to really kind of put in a lot of extra work to kill this, where that difference between 5 and 6, I don't think is going to make that much difference by comparison of having this 1-cost evolution. That 1,000 DP versus this 1-cost evolution, I think, is super key. And I would rather have just the efficiency in this deck in particular, especially because we're trying to, like I said, we're trying to just stair-step up into our mega as fast as possible. We're not really trying to stall in this deck. We like a little bit of a blocker. 1 stack of blockers is fine. That covers us pretty good. But beyond that, I don't think it's necessary to add more blockers or to use the 2-cost evolution. Now, we do have the 2-cost evolution Greymon here, and you just can't beat Security Attack +1. I mean, that is just so powerful, and it's absolutely needed in this deck where we're trying to essentially kind of OTK our opponent here with our Shoutmon. We're trying to get as much security checks as possible. Greymon is how you're going to do it. Also, we can stack multiple Greymons potentially with Shoutmon. So when you Digivolve the Shoutmon DX, he can add in anything from hand, any Digimon in hand underneath. So you could essentially add in another Greymon into your stack, making it have another security attack +1. Or if you missed out, that opening turn, you went with the Fugamon for the 1-cost evolution, and then turn 2 or 3 comes around whenever, and you go into that Shoutmon, now you can add that Greymon that you missed out on earlier. And so we definitely want to maximize on the 4 count of the security attack +1 Greymon, absolutely, in this deck. And you see that we've got 12. We're running the full 12 level 4 package. And that's only because the Fugamon is kind of like a middle ground between our rookies and our level 4s. That's why I'm playing less rookies, and I went ahead and bumped up the level 4 count, by 1 more because we've got Fugamon, and he's just kind of fitting both categories. I mean, that's really what he's here for, is to just cover both bases all by himself, so we can kind of finagle the numbers a little bit, and it really works out nicely, I think, with this package. You might have noticed that we're at 52 of 50 cards here, and that's because I wanted to kind of show some extra possibilities that we can have for things that we can choose from. But I like to do this in all my videos. I show different cards that you can use in place of others and just kind of give my thought process, so the count is a little bit higher than it normally would be. right off the bat, we've got Omni Shoutmon, which is pretty much an auto-include in this deck. This is a Shoutmon deck, so it makes sense to have Omni Shoutmon. The inheritable here, while this Digimon has Blitz, it gains Security Attack +1. So, boom, instantly another way to have Security Attack +1 to combo with our Greymon, you know, and that just gives us more fuel for the fire with this guy. Also, yet another card to just add in with Shoutmon DX. You know, that's just another card to look at for more Security Attack plus for Shoutmon. So yeah, he's great. Also, just what a crazy ability. You can just skip the level 4, so you can go straight from your Shoutmon can Digivolve into this card from your hand for a memory cost of 4, ignoring this card's Digivolution requirements. So you can go right on top of your regular rookie Shoutmon for 4 cost. I mean, that's great. That's 1 more than his normal cost, so that's not bad. So essentially you're skipping one of these 1 cost evolutions, and it's just being a little bit more efficient and getting there a little bit faster. It's just different possibilities that you can do. If you've got the memory to do it and you want to Digivolve with your 1 cost evolutions just for like that draw power, you know, go for it. But if you don't have your level 4, it's really nice to be able to just skip it, especially if you don't have that level 4. So just great multi-purpose here. I mean, the inheritable alone is phenomenal and worth playing just for the inheritable, but also his main effect is really nice and can come up, I'm sure, in plenty of games. So yeah, nice little bit of versatility. I do have the Voltdramon here at 2, and it's just because it is a 3 cost for essentially the same thing as the Omni Shoutmon. Could we max out on the Voltdramon and just run, you know, 4 and 4 of these? Sure, but I thought about, what about some, you know, a little bit of diverse choices here. Some people have been opting to run the secret rare from 1.0 Metal Greymon for that plus 3,000 DP inheritable. So your Shoutmon is going to be a beefy guy. He's going to be at 15k with this Metal Greymon underneath. So at that point, he's swinging over pretty much everything in the meta. Everything like meta relevant is going to be 14k or less. So with this Metal Greymon, he swings over that. That's pretty cool. Also, the 9,000 DP is huge. Why do I say that? Because the most popular deck in the format will probably be yellow. And yellow, if they're playing Slash Angemon, which a lot of decks are opting for as their secondary mega to go with Lord Nightmon, is Slash Angemon. He cannot kill Metal Greymon on his own. So if you Digivolve into Metal Greymon to pass your turn, they can't just slash you and then immediately take it off the board like they can these other guys. So keep that in mind. That is very, very important. That 9,000 DP actually kind of is pretty important overall. But I didn't want to overlook some other options here. We got the other Metal Greymon here from the starter deck. And this is just a neat inheritable, kind of, you know, a neat little tech option you could think about. When this Digimon is blocked, gain 3 memory. When combining this with Blitz, that is huge. Putting this on a Blitz, so that you Digivolve, it swings, you know, you pass, you go to, you know, put your opponent at 1 memory or whatever it is, and you're passing the turn to them, but because of Blitz, the attack goes through. But with Metal Greymon, if they block, it comes back and it stays on your turn. How cool is that? So Metal Greymon, just a neat little tech just because of the Blitz mechanics specifically. I think he's worth running. If it wasn't for Blitz, I probably wouldn't really even consider him, but still very, very cool. Also do want to just kind of mention the Groundramon here, or he's just the place fitter for the vanillas for that 2 cost evolution. Sure, being memory efficient is good, but our goal isn't like Old Red. Old Red was we're trying to get to our level 7s as fast as possible. With these guys having Blitz, we don't really. It's not as important to be memory efficient in this, if that makes sense. So we can go with our 3 cost evolution level 5s here, go to 0 memory, right, with our memory fixer, and then immediately drop one of our blitzes on top and still get a swing. And so if that's the case, then that 1 memory isn't going to matter here. So Groundramon probably going to get kicked to the curb here. Same with it's the level 5, the other level 5 that's like Volcanic Dramon. It's not Voltdramon. You know the one I'm talking about. The other vanilla though. He is a little bit stronger too, which, if that matters to you, I don't think playing vanillas is worth it though. I think going with these is probably pretty worth it, depending on what you want to do. I would run probably 2, one of these, bump it up to 2, and that would be pretty good. I think it's honestly personal preference. I can't even tell you. Like, if you want to run 4 Voltramon or 2 Voltramon and then 2 of these guys, any of it makes sense. But our level 6s, right? Right off the bat, you see Durandamon there, and we'll cover, I guess, Durandamon first. I talked about it in my cards to get before BT5 drop. Durandamon is a really just neat tech option that you can include. You can run it at 2 for a little bit more consistency, just to make sure you kind of hit it every single game. You should at least get a single copy of Durandamon to hand, which is, that's great. But also, at 1, you might not see it consistently, and I want to see it a little bit. Particularly, I want to see it a little bit because I think it combos great with the inheritable from Z Greymon here. When this Digimon attacks with Blitz, it can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. So attacking your opponent's Digimon now is way better if you can also have Piercing. So how do you get these guys together, though, right, as inheritables? Well, that's where your DX comes in, your Shoutmon DX. So he has Blitz as well, so you Digivolve into him. If the memory passes over to your opponent, you still get to attack. But when Digivolving, you may place 1 red Digimon card from your hand at the top of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Then for each... Whoa, that was wonky. For each Omni Shoutmon or Z Greymon in this Digivolution's cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. That kind of matters for blockers. So again, if you're playing those 5k DP blockers, Shoutmon DX could become a problem. I don't see Shoutmon DX being like overly represented in the meta, so you probably don't have to worry about it too much. However, if it does pick up in popularity, you might consider swapping over to the other blockers just so you don't get popped easily by this Shoutmon DX here. But even blockers aside, being able to kill any kind of rookie or most level 4s, Shoutmon DX is doing really well. So he can Digivolve on top of a level 5 for 4, which is fairly expensive for a level 6. It's in the more expensive category at least. But with Blitz, we don't really mind so much. But if you Digivolve on top of a level 6 and already Mega, then it's only a 2 cost, which that's pretty awesome. But yeah, so when Digivolving, just throw a Durandamon underneath there. If you've got the Z Greymon, right? You can swing over your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, clear that, and get the Piercing. That's really awesome. Or if your opponent has a blocker and you think they might block you, you can throw in the Durandamon. If they have something just suspended that you think you should just kill, whatever, a Lord Nightmon or something, throw in a Durandamon to pierce over it. So Shoutmon, really great for getting that Durandamon piercing effect. If you don't need the piercing, though, add something else. You can add in another Z Greymon or another Shoutmon DX if you want to, just to give yourself more of these DP, 5,000 DP or less pops. I mean, that's really great. So for each Omnimon, Shoutmon, or Z Greymon in this Digivolution's cards. So yeah, you could get multiple pops out of him if you just add duplicates. So yeah, he's really great. Also, like I said, you could just add in any of these other guys. If you got an extra Omni Shoutmon in hand, add that in there for that more security attack. Voltramon, Greymon. We have tons of ways to get more security attack +1 thanks to Shoutmon DX. So getting a full clear with Shoutmon DX is very easy, and then you just push for game with the Omnimon over here. So yeah, let's go ahead and cover that Omnimon now. So when Digivolving, Blitz. He has Blitz as well. He's a 4 cost, pretty cheap for an Omnimon, especially for a 14k level 7. 4k is 4 cost is just really cheap. Also, when Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon. So that in combination with your other stuff that you've already swung with. So say your Shoutmon swung, you Digivolved it on top of a level 6 for 2 cost, and swung and cleared your opponent's whole security, because it is possible. We'll look at the stacks here in a minute, but you clear their whole security, and he's suspended now. But it's still your turn. So you go into Omnimon, right, for 4 cost, take yourself to put your opponent at 3 memory, but we got Blitz, so we're all good. But his effect, you unsuspend first, and then you get to swing with your Blitz. And Blitz is so much better than old Chaosmon. Chaosmon could only swing at your opponent's Digimon. You couldn't swing for face. You couldn't swing for security. Nothing. So Omnimon here getting to swing at anything at once with this, that's how you kill your opponent. So green OTK basically just met its match in something even better, because green OTK could never close out the game. You could get them all, clear their security, put them at 0, but you could never quite win just because it was just not cost efficient after 6 evolution to go into a Chaosmon. You just, more than likely, you don't ever have the memory left over to still swing with something else for a game. But with this combo, you can, and that's what's so great about this. Also, if that just doesn't work for whatever reason, all turns, if an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon or return it to its owner's hand or deck, you may prevent it from leaving the play by trashing a level 6 Digimon card in this card's Digivolution cards. So Shoutmon DX, if he's put in a second level 6 underneath him, that gives you 2 level 6s for Omnimon to use. That's really, really nice. So great stuff here. Also, if you didn't want to use this Omnimon, use the other Omnimons, like OG or whatever. Being able to return those level 6s to hand to get multiple swings. I mean, I'm just thinking of OG Omnimon of just getting to get multiple swings in every single turn. Yikes. Yeah. Definitely worth looking at, but I think this one's still better just because it can just win you the game flat out, and I think that's a little bit more important. So I went ahead and maxed out on this at a 4 of, just because I want to see it. I want to see it. It's very important for the whole, like, just clear your opponent. We're just trying to blast through them, and at a 4 of, I know it's a little bit more than some people might consider, but I think it is worth it just because of how powerful it truly is. All right, and then here we're at the bottom here. We're just looking at our basically our different options, figuratively and literally. Tai Kamiya, just all of your red Digimon with 4 more Digivolution cards gain security attack +1. So that gives us more ways to get security attack, as well as he's a memory fixer, and we love our memory fixers. Like I said, being able to go from your level 4 to your level 5 for 3 memory, and then go into a level 6 with Blitz to immediately swing with it is, you know, that's nice. I like that. So having a memory fixer feels really good. You could argue running the duo tamer here instead, but he only gives a security attack +1 to Omnimon. Well, you think, well, you know, that's only if he has got 4 more Digivolution sources. But remember, Shoutmon DX adding extra inheritables underneath himself. Yeah, that's what makes this tie, I think, even better, because you're going to get your level 5, right, and then your level 4, and even if you started with the Fugamon, well, I guess you can't do it with the Fugamon, but well, you could. So 4, 5, and then you go into your 6 here, and then Shoutmon Digivolves on top of your 6, and then throws in another Digivolution source. You can still get 4 Digivolution sources with the Shoutmon DX, even if you're starting with a level 4. If you start with a level 3, you know, again, not a big deal. So you got your 3, 4, 5. You go straight on with the Shoutmon DX for the 4 cost. He adds in another, you know, Digivolution source. So he's instantly up to 4 Digivolution sources, making your tie live for that extra security attack. So that's overall this is how we're gonna get our big swings here. So you're gonna get security attack +1 from the tie. You're going to get a security attack +1 from one of your level 5, so that's +2. Your Greymon is going to give you another one, so that's +3 right there. On top of your regular swing, that's 4 security checks very, very easily, and that's without doing extra work. Using Shoutmon DX's ability, you just have to add in any one of these out of 10 cards in your deck. You just need, you know, one of these extras to slide in there to give him security attack +4 and make him just clear your opponent's whole security, right? And then you go into the Omnimon to win you the game. So that is the ultimate strategy there. That is the ideal, preferred, you know, ultimate win, and it honestly can do it really, really quickly in like just a couple turns. Especially if you go second, that gives you a little bit more memory to work with, so you can push all the way up into a level 5 to pass your turn. And then if you have you pass your turn with the tie here, that can just right there put you at killing range, essentially. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's incredibly powerful. It's so good. But you know, there's arguments for the tie and mat one as well, because just the level 6 or higher on your opponent's side of the field is almost like a deterrent. If they see this mat over there, this tie and mat, they might not go into their level 6. You know, it might stay on the turn. You know, and it's a little bit of a deterrent. I just think that this tie with that security attack +1 for your Shoutmon specifically is a little more important than the security attack +1 just on the Omnimon, okay? Because even then, this tie is going to give this Omnimon the security attack +1 anyway, so it's not really doing much good playing this one over this one, I don't think. As long as I start at 3 security, or 3 memory every turn, I can pull off some crazy good combos. Being able to go from like 3 to 5 or 5 to 7 with this is not really going to change too much overall. And then our last couple are just a couple options to look at. A delicate plan is just always nice. 1 memory to turn off all of your opponent's options and security. You know, you start swinging in, you pick this Shoutmon, you swing in for 5 security checks. Yeah, delicate plan is a nice little thing to have on the side if you can, you know, afford to play it. Yeah, really, really powerful card. I don't know why you wouldn't. So, I went ahead and included it at a 2 of. It's only there to get us that one big mega swing. And while we're building up into our big, huge stack to get that mega swing, that gives us time to draw into this 2 of, I think. I do want to mention Gaia Force. Gaia Force is like one of the best removals in the game. Just delete one of your opponent's Digimon. It's powerful in security. It's a powerful card. I tried to play it at a 2 of. Unfortunately, you can see we're just over our numbers here, so I just could not fit it in. If you want to drop some Tamers down, you could do that and fit in, you know, 1 copy. I don't think that's enough. You'd have to cut room elsewhere. If you want to cut an Omnimon, you could bump it up to 2, but I don't think that's the point of this deck. We're not trying to control it all. We're not even trying to match your opponent. We're trying to just OTK and nothing else. We're not trying to worry about any other strategies. We're just going for a big heavy hit and immediately win by, you know, 3 or 4 turns, and we want our game to be over. We don't want a long game by any means. This deck is like Red Ragna, but even faster and honestly a little bit more consistent, I think, just because we don't have to go all the way up into a level 7 to get our big heavy hit off. So I would drop the Gaia Force and probably just bump the tie up, make it a little bit more consistent to get into it. Again, getting that 3 memory at the start of my turn as soon as possible is very important. If you get, you know, another tie that triggers off of security after you've already played the one, awesome. That's security attack +2. That's even less effort that Shoutmon DX has to put in to clear all your opponent's security. So having multiples on board isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know. So it's a pretty overall pretty powerful deck. I'm really, really excited for it. I think it's going to do some pretty incredible things. I think it's just a step up from Grand Kawagamon OTK. I mean, naturally, it is a set later, so it makes sense that it's more powerful. Every set, you know, old tactics just get a little bit better, a little bit better. We just happen to change colors entirely and go back to red for that old strategy of red just trying to punch for 5 security. But now we can just do it with less effort. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would, please like the video and subscribe. Just a little bit of help goes a super long ways. It helps the channel out tremendously, gets my videos out there, gets them seen. And if you really, really want to support the channel, check out the links in the description below. I'll have a link for my Patreon, which is displayed right here. You can get access to my Discord server that I have, as well as you can get the memory markers that we've had. These are just a few of my favorites from the past that we've had. The current one, Impmon's baby, as well as Gabumon's baby as well, Sunomon and Yaomon. These guys are super adorable. I definitely love them so much. And every month a new one changes out, so make sure you check that out. As well as we have our new playmats. This is why I recreated this video. It's because our playmats are here finally, and they are super cool. I alternate between the black and white every single month for whoever wants to support this tier, as well as I have a tier just higher than that, so that way you don't also have to lose out on a memory marker. You can get both the memory marker and the playmat just in case you want both. super awesome support from everyone that has supported in the past and who will support in the future. You guys are awesome. Also, if you want to check out my merch, my Teespring link is in the description below for that. We've got, you know, the shirts that I wear on the channel that has the logo across. I love when I see people representing my merch in public. It is like one of the coolest feelings I've ever had in my entire life. Very, very awesome. As well as phone cases for you people that love Digimon like so much like I do. A friend of mine custom made all these to fit these specific phone cases themselves, so the prices are a little bit higher just because I have to pay her back, as well as make a little tiny bit of profit because of how much unfortunately they take for their cut for Teespring. But like I said, if you can't do any of that, please just like the video and subscribe to the channel. Every time we hit a new mile marker for subscriptions, I give out free merch of all different types. 2000K, I think we're doing one of the Playmat giveaways. So definitely be subscribed and ready for when that comes.